Hi everyone, and welcome to part 8 of my Husqvarna Automower challenge. Now, I've been running the Automower Parker for roughly 3 months now, and I thought in this episode I'd give you a bit of an update on the things that are going really well, but also a couple of the pitfalls that you need to look out for. I'm also going to talk you through, we've got some apple trees in the garden, so for those of you with orchards, how it handles fallen apples, and also we're just at the end of August, we're getting a bit of early leaf fall, so I thought I'd just run you through how Parker's coping with leaves in general. So one of the things I found out very early on is that you need to be aware of the loop wire that's by now hidden in the ground in your lawn. Not long after I had the Automower, my wife gave me a call. I was working out in the garden, kindly made me a cup of coffee. I came up to the back door, put my spade in the ground, went and had my cup of coffee. When I came out, realised that Parker wasn't working. Fortunately, put 2 and 2 together, the spade was still in the ground, and what I'd done is severed the actual boundary loop wire. Now, at the time you think it's the end of the world, but the reality is that you can buy these little gel infused splicing kits. You put both pieces of the severed wire in, punch it down with a pair of pliers, and you're good, you've made the connection again. So, you know, what I would say is you always got that boundary wire, you just need to be aware of where they are, particularly if you've got additional loops going out. So, you know, just bear in mind where they are, and if you're having any works done into the garden, you know, make sure that they're not damaged, or if they are, you know where they're damaged, and that you get them replaced. So the next thing to be aware of, from my perspective, is clothing or items that lie on the floor. Particularly I found clothing or materials in general. You know, we don't have a particularly young family, they're both teenagers now, so they're quite used to picking things up, but I think if you had toddlers, it's something to bear in mind. Now, what happened for us was my daughter had hung, you can see here, a horse rug on the fence, and so again, not Parker's fault, but the wind blew, gusted it up, and it lay flat on the surface. And of course, Parker is not high enough for the sensors to register with Parker. He purposely trundled over it, not knowing any difference, and you can see here some rips to what was a fairly old rug as it happens, but you can see something similar happened to a jacket of my daughter's as well. Again, not a very expensive one, but I think it's worth bearing in mind. Clothing particularly, they do seem to be able to run over them and kind of slash the back and do a pretty good job of it actually. So yeah, just be careful of clothing. So finally, I've just hit the end of October, and as I said earlier, we've got a number of apple trees in the garden. Not that many, maybe 4 or 5, and you know, we're just getting to that time of the year. It's not quite at fall stage yet, but you can start to see some leaves are falling off the trees, and so are the apples. And I thought I'd just point out a few things. So firstly, leaves has absolutely no impact on Parker whatsoever. In fact, actually what Parker tends to do is help you out by chopping them up more finely. That's my experience. There's Guinness in shop. And then finally, apples. So you can see a few, we'll probably get around, a few apples are beginning to fall. And here's a classic case in point. So what I have found is that you'll find these apples that have been very neatly sliced and diced. Not that I want to use it for cooking clearly, but that's probably the worst of which you'll find. So Parker will gently nudge these around the garden or around the vicinity of the apple tree. I tend to come out probably once every few days, and anything like this I just kick underneath the hedge and away, but it's not an issue. Parker continues to cut normally. It hasn't affected the blades significantly. I suspect they'll get blunter a bit quicker, but I haven't really noticed a big difference. So, you know, for anyone out there who have apple trees, fruit trees in their garden and are worried about it, don't be. There's no real issue at all, and I haven't found it impacts on the Automower whatsoever. So there we have it. this latest instalment. I hope you find that that useful, and I'll be back soon to give you a bit of a roundup after 3-4 months of my experience of the Automower, what it's meant to me and our family.